How's it going, everyone? I am Nick from Go2Game, joined by head of Go2Game, Jack Hutto. And in today's video, we've got a lucky Chappy from the Facebook Gaming Partner Program. How's it going, guys? How we doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Yeah,
Good,
pretty
mate.
good, pretty good. It's been a busy week, I think. Is from what our quick discussions are before the video. It's been a very busy week.
Yes, very busy.
So we've got Lucky Chappy with us today. I just wanted to ask you how you got kind of started in all of your content creation. Like, how long ago? Where did you come from? What'd you do?
Yeah, so this goes back to when I was probably 11, 12 years old. So back, I used to play RuneScape when I was younger. I think a lot of people would have played the game RuneScape. And I started making RuneScape music videos online. They're still on YouTube now. But I started making those with my friends. And then I really wanted to, as I got a bit older, I started playing Call of Duty and I started watching people like Ali A, who was probably only one of the only YouTubers making Call of Duty videos. So I started making Call of Duty videos with like an actual physical camera stacked up on VHSs, aiming at my box TV, and I would record sniper montages and things like that, and I would post them to YouTube. So I've always had this in the back of my mind that I wanted to do YouTube and things like that. And make videos, but I never really had the resources. My parents were still new to the internet. Like, no, people will steal your identity. They'll find where you live and things like that. Um, so I never got to actually pursue it fully, except for those little videos I put up. And then I went away, joined the army, and then I think it was about 6 years ago now. I tried to start making YouTube stuff again. I was living by myself. I had my own PC. I went and bought the gear. I didn't realize about PC specs and stuff, but my PC wasn't strong enough to record. I was trying to record Battlefield 1 gameplay and stuff, post on YouTube, see how I go with commentary. And that kind of fizzled out. And then a few years later, just, I don't know, I started watching more streams and things like that. And Facebook Gaming came out and I saw people streaming on them like, oh, this is a new platform. There might be an opportunity here to get some viewers and things like that. There's no Aussies on here at all. So I used my laptop I already had. I used like the Xbox preview. I didn't have any capture card or anything. I just pushed that to my monitor, recorded on my monitor, and then I just played the game. And that worked pretty well. And within a few weeks, I started getting a few viewers in. I was playing Fortnite, and then I tried to play Call of Duty Blackout and things like that. And I couldn't really find my footing until Apex Legends came out. And then when Apex Legends came out, I kind of instantly, I don't know if the stream's still up on Facebook because I think they expire now. But that first stream, I literally said, "This is the game. Like this is gonna be my game. It'll kill." The first day I streamed it, and yeah, ever from there, I just started streaming an hour and a half, 2 hours every like three days or so a week because I worked full time. Before my partner got home, I just did a couple hour stream, and then I just kept expanding from there.
Yeah, awesome. And like, I guess Hado, this is kind of how much does that resonates with you? Because I know every creator that we've kind of talked to, or people that I've talked to in the past, it's like it's always like this weird ramp journey. Like they kind of do a little bit, they come down, they do a little bit more, they come back, and they kind of do this like rotation of I want to try to do content, I want to try to do content, and there's like this itch. And I know I've got it as well. Like I've got this constant itch for creating something, whether it's video, music, whatever. How much of that resonates with you, Hado? Like, did you feel something like that as well?
Yeah, I think like everything to a T almost. Even the games that I started off playing, originally like for me back in the day, RuneScape was kind of like an early game that I played with my friends and all that sort of stuff. I never really created content back then though. It was more just playing and having a good time. It wasn't until Minecraft came out, which is what I really started like kind of creating my first content on YouTube and things like that. And I think it was the same thing, It was always like I want to create some videos that I really like and that I think people would really enjoy watching. It was never like I want to get famous or whatever. It was just like having people enjoying what I'm doing is kind of what I've always tried to make happen. And the similar journey, a few different games here, jumping, maybe different genres. I think obviously you've kind of stayed the same kind of FPS, lucky, but for me it was like Minecraft, and then I jumped to FPS for a bit, and then I jumped to RuneScape, RS3, and then Apex came out. I actually jumped on Apex. That was the first time I'd hit 500 subs on Twitch was with Apex. And I was like, holy shit, this is my game, man. And then, I was never really good at the game, so no one really ended up giving a shit. So I ended up dying back in the ass again. That's when I found GTA roleplay, and that's kind of where things really kicked off for me. So I think this is kind of like, I don't know, people could definitely take something away from this that everybody has this up and down journey with content. You know, not everybody. Some people just go like straight away, and it can happen 100%. But for the majority of people, it is a very up and down journey. You'll find a peak, and then it'll go back down, and then it's what you do in that down period to go back up higher than you ever have before. I think is really where the work is put in. And people don't realize that. They think like, I've gone up and I've gone down. I'll stop. I don't really care anymore. Not realizing the next up could be 50 times, better than what their original peak was, So I think that's like a testament to hard work and dedication, really.
Yeah, that's such a good point on the going up and then back down. Like I remember with Apex, I had so many ups and downs. There was one point there I started streaming full time because I was earning enough from the stars and things like that. My viewership was skyrocketing, and then out of nowhere, just a massive a downward spiral. And when I thought it was just over, I was like, "Oh my god, it's ending," and things like that. And then, like you said, I started working harder down the bottom side of that dip, and things started slowly, gradually getting back up.
One thing I kind of like want to speak to, especially, is kind of your VOD and short form content, because we've been keeping an eye on how you've been doing that outside of just your live stream stuff. Like, tell us about your, I guess, your thought process, or like how you've gone from live stream and then also getting some really good short form content coming out. Like, what's your thought process behind that? How did you transition to that? And
Yep.
just, yeah, talk us through it.
So the biggest thing for me was I had subscribers telling me, you need to get on TikTok. You need to get on TikTok. You should be making TikTok. And I downloaded TikTok when it first came out, and I didn't like what I saw. It was just dances and things like that, and it wasn't for me. But I didn't realize that there was a whole other side to TikTok. You just need to put the effort in to search for certain things that you want, and then the algorithm will bring you the content you want to see. So I was like a year and a half late to the TikTok party. But I joined TikTok about May last year. Started watching Apex Legends videos, Call of Duty, all my FPS games, and pretty much any gaming videos, um, just to try and just get my own sort of stuff out there. And then I started posting game clips, and they weren't doing too great. So just started looking like, okay, what are some of the things people are doing that aren't just double kills and triple kills and things like that. And it was actually non-gaming videos that got me into making my style of videos now. It was like I'd just be scrolling and be like, what your favorite coffee says about you, or what your favorite dish says about you, and things like that. And I was just instantly myself, and I didn't realize at the time as I was watching them that I was just instantly hooked. Like within that first 1 or 2 seconds, I was hooked. I was like, okay, let me see what this dude wants to say about me. Let me see what she wants to say about me,
Yeah.
and things like that about the coffee I like. And then this later came into my head about, oh, okay, so I'll use that. But my first thing I noticed that I wanted to make was something that people could relate back to. So like a feeling or a memory, because I started seeing videos. Do you remember when this was in Apex Legends? And I was like, oh, let me watch this. And then I was really interested in it. So my first video that got good was actually just a picture. It was just a screenshot I took of a weapon with an attachment that you can't use anymore, but you could use it when the game first came out for the first few weeks. I just put it up there, put a caption, do you remember this? Or only OGs will remember this. And it just, my 300 views went to 70,000 views for this one picture. And my followers just started going. I was like, okay, so I need to start. That was where I was like, okay, I need to put more effort in. I need to come up with little ideas and how I can work my own content into TikTok, because obviously there's a potential here for things to just explode out of nowhere. And that's kind of how it got started. And then it leads to the what your coffee says about you stuff. And that was when I was like, okay, maybe I could do this for the characters in Apex Legends. I think I started with the loadouts, different loadouts, and they were very simple videos. They went for 50 seconds. There was only one line for each weapon for the different loadouts. For like Apex Legends, there's light weapons and heavy weapons and things like that, different categories. So my videos started out as what your favorite loadout says about you, and I would just say one category, light weapon edition. And then there would be 3 weapons in that, and I would literally just give one-liners. And they weren't profane or anything. They were just simple things like, you're probably the best player in your squad and you love doing this. You're probably the worst player in your squad and no one wants you on their team. Just something simple like that. And that first video just got, I think it got 100, 200,000 views, and I was just watching every day like, holy crap, I need to make more. So I just started making the loadout ones. and everything just kind of evolved from there. People wanted more specific things, and yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like, I think you've done this really interesting kind of TikTok study, right? Like, you've looked at all the content that you've seen on there. You've seen the gaming content that kind of was resonating with you, but maybe not. Then you've seen like just general trending content, I guess, and like this comparison of if you're this type of person or if you're this type of player, you would be doing this. And it's
Yep.
like you're making comedic assumptions, and I think that's really really smart. Like, it's a really kind of great hook that you're bringing people in and then making comedic like overtones on top of it that the community kind of subtly talks about and like Apex players will know of. Like I'd say I'm a bit out of it, right? Like I don't know, Gibraltar's greatest thing. I don't know why he would do something. I don't know why players would play him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But watching your content and seeing it kind of come to light and seeing the comments that are in there, it's like, you're dogging the boys a little bit, or
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
something's happening there, and they're kind of like enjoying it. How much of it do you kind of script? Do you script a lot of it, like when you're kind of going on it, or do you have something like notes ready to go?
Yeah, so it kind of depends on the video. Sometimes it all just comes to me instantly. Like I could write a script out. I write a script now just so it's easier to record my voice and things because I do it on my mic, whereas I used to do it on my phone.
Mhm.
So I write it out, but sometimes too it's not too typey or anything. It just kind of comes to me. I just type it out really quickly. Um, but the first few videos I did, I just kind of I the very first one I did, the heavy weapon edition. You can hear the audio quality is terrible. I just recorded on my phone. I think I recorded on my. I wasn't under my blanket at that point. I was just recording on my phone, just straight up in my office. And I just did that off the cuff. I just did the full video. I think there was only three weapons, one liner each one, like I was saying before. Um, and I just did it off the cuff, just kind of stereotypes that come from the game. Like obviously
Mm.
I've played the game a lot, so I kind of know almost every detail about every character, every weapon. I know what people like, what people are complaining about, and things like that. And that's kind of comes into my content now. Back then it played a little part, um, but those first few videos were kind of just off the cuff. Things that I felt from maybe the previous stream, the stream I did the day before, things I kind of had in that moment, but I didn't write anything down then. Whereas these days, my phone app notes is just full of there's probably 40 dot points. As soon as I think of something on stream, something that annoyed me or something that I found funny, I'll write it down, whether I'm going to make a video about it or not. And these days, I do write out full scripts because my videos are a lot more uh, I guess, filled out as opposed
Yep.
to one liners for each weapon. There's like a full 55 of these days, it's like 2 minutes now, but it's like a 2 minute video about one specific weapon. So I really do need to write out different things. I can't just do it off my head anymore because
Mm.
there's just too much details in there. And I want to make sure I'm kind of ticking each box and I'm not overlapping the same thing over and over again. But
Yeah.
I do write them out, and often they take up probably half a page, three quarters of a Word document.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, awesome. And like I wanted to speak to, the editing style as well, because I think that's very important, especially for the short form content. Like a lot of the pieces that you do, they're vertical, they've got text, and it's kind of less than, let's say, 4 words per phrase, and you've got your captions coming up in the center of screen for most of the video. Was that something, you've found on TikTok, or it's like something trending, or and it keeps its attention? Like talk to us about like your thought process or how you got to that stage.
Yep. So there's a lot of videos on TikTok where they'll have their webcam up the top, and then they'll have their gameplay down the bottom, and they'll have the text that kind of just slots down under their webcam. But usually they're kind of giving tutorials and things like that, so you need to see what's happening in the gameplay to kind of understand what they're talking about. Whereas my videos, the main content is what's being said.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, the video in the background doesn't specifically relate to what's being said. Usually, I'll just be playing the character I'm talking about in the background, just doing a simple drop in. But there is a bit of, I guess, artistic value to the way I get my gameplay clip. I do like to have it so you see a few different things. It's not just the same thing. It starts in flying into the game, almost like the video starting and that match is starting. So I'm talking about that character as you drop in from the ship, and then there's just like a 1 to 2 minute value. So it's almost like you're starting with the character as they're starting their match as the video goes on. the game progresses, it gets a bit more hectic in the video, or a bit more crazy, or things start happening as the video's amping up, like what I'm saying as well. But for the captions themselves, they are more so, I guess they're the main point of the video. Like I think a lot of the people like the video for what's being said, how it's being said, and those captions can really emphasize the way they're being said. For example, if I have a swear word in there, or I have something I want to pop on the screen, or I yell in the middle of that video, I'll have one word. I'll make sure I stretch it so it pops up on the screen really big, and it just extra emphasizes the yelling that I'm doing, and it lets people know like I am yelling. And it helps for anyone that's watching muted or low volume. They can understand which parts are important and which parts are being emphasized without actually having the volume on. So for me, that was a big thing, because I always found it easier for the videos I watched when they had subtitles that were clearly shown, and
Hmm.
they were easy to understand, especially if they broke up the individual words into either a bigger font, or they somehow had an effect that made it pop out. So you really knew that that was a main point of the video, or the main thing of that sentence, almost like the punchline. So I really wanted to make sure I did that as well. And if you look at my early videos, my font has changed completely. It used to be like this yellow color font, but that kind of blended into the background, so it wasn't too easy to actually identify the words being said. You can still read them pretty clearly, but so I've made an effort to use a different font that kind of pops a lot more. And at the end of the day, the subtitles are the video. The gameplay could be anything in the background.
I think like a lot of people could take a lot of way from what you're saying and the way that you think about your content. I think a lot of people get sort of stuck in this whole I've got to take my live and I've got to come up with an idea or just like grab some clips and then put it over here on TikTok and kind of like hope it does well. But then you're
Yeah.
taking this whole sort of different view on it. You know, you've got your live streams, you're having fun and you're playing your games and you're doing different things like, but then you're using that live stream to not only like capture footage, you know, because you probably use some of the footage from your lives in your VODs, but like you're using your live streams to chat with your community, come up with, you know, ideas for your VODs and, you know, use like your in-game experience and you know how other people play the game around you to really like you know change the content that you're making. And I think a lot of people can take something away from that because it could be with anything. You could use that in realistically any other game. You could sort
Yeah.
of have a same sort of mindset realistically anything, especially if it's like an online multiplayer game. It could be a very similar thing. And I think I haven't seen a lot of people doing what you're doing in the way you're doing it. You know, you've taken a TikTok meme, a TikTok format, and kind of made it your own for the gaming space. And I haven't really seen anyone kind of doing that, you know, taking kind of like a mainstream kind of thing and
Yeah.
making it gaming. And I think that's why it's going so well for you, man. And I've loved kind of seeing kind of where you were when we first sort of started having a chat. You know, you were kind of in that mid sort of ground of where do you want to take her? What do you want to do? Do you want to keep pushing live or should you start pushing VODs heaps more?
Yeah.
And I know we had this original chat that like, you know, obviously keep doing your live streams, but definitely push the VODs more, push the TikToks and stuff like that. And I'm just like super stoked to see where you're at, and I can't wait to see you just keep fucking going, man. It's so cool to see.
Appreciate that. With the live stream videos, that's if that I do that. So I don't just it's not just about I use the chat to kind of gauge their reaction to things that happen in game. So you can
Mm.
use that you can use their reaction, because it's a live reaction. You can get feedback instantaneously about something that has happened. And if they liked it, or if they're laughing, emojiing, and things like that in the chat, you know that that was something that people will probably respond to. So even if it's not my traditional short videos that I do, I post a lot of other stuff now, and they're straight up snippets from the stream. And some of them have been some of my most viral videos, and I didn't
Yeah.
even expect it. I was like, okay, I don't have time to make a full video. I'm gonna get a snippet out that people liked. I edit it. I add a couple captions here and there, and so your chat is the best feedback for anything that's happening. So if your chat's feedbacking something in terms of they're laughing, they're saying that was crazy or that was funny or whatever, you can just set up a replay buffer or something like that. Just clip the last minute. I recommend everyone's record their streams, but yeah, just set up a record thing, and I usually just press it. I don't use the clip function because I like it to be a bit high quality, and I use them as just instant feedback. And sometimes these days they give me advice on, you should do a video on this weapon, or you should do a
Yeah.
video on when people take this away now. So I kind of have comments bringing ideas to me now, so it's not all on me. They kind of give
Yep.
me exactly what they want to see. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, I could probably fit what you just said into a couple lines in a video, but I'll need to find the main topic to then fit that in. So they almost give me the content, and I just do my own thing with it, find a where that could fit in, and then yeah. So the chat's a big part of it, and the live streams are a massive part because, like you said, they let me see the things that are happening around me, the silly stuff, the stupid things that we all do in game, the things I do in game that I screwed up, and I'll laugh and tell the chat I'm horrible at the game and things like that, and then you can turn those things into a video. Oh
Mm.
man, I've told so many people I started streaming with, no one listens, no one. Like, I don't like try to be an expert. There's heaps of stuff I need to learn, and I always am down to taking advice off people and things like that. But some of the people, they always message me like, "What do I do? How can I do this? How can I do that?" And I've gone as far as to giving them literally the full idea, literally
Mm.
make this video, and they just don't. And then a few months later, I get the same message, and I
Yep.
just
Well, that's it, right? Like the amount of people you talk to that go through like the steps but don't actually finish anything. They're too busy
yeah,
consuming. Like they're not actually finishing their creations, kind of thing. Or they
yeah,
never press publish, or they never hit record.
yeah.
Like that's we say that a lot. I think that's a common thing.
Well, it comes down to time too. Like, it takes a while to do. Like, even if I
Mm.
give them a video idea, it takes time to do that. And I think a lot of people think, especially some of the people I started streaming with, are kind of skyrocketed a little bit lately with followers and things like that. They more so just want a quick fix, like a how do I instantly get to there, but they don't realize it wasn't an instant process.
You've been
I was
doing it
on,
behind the scenes for like 3 years, and they want it kind of like in two
yeah,
months, kind of
I've
thing.
got the back end experience of what my content's about, my streams and stuff, and then I've got like, what, it's nearly May. I'm coming up to a year from when I got on TikTok. So like, it wasn't an instant process. I was on TikTok for 6 months grinding TikTok as well as the Facebook live streams and Twitch,
Yeah.
and but I think they just want to, what can I do one video to make it go super viral instantly? But some of my best videos didn't go viral ever. Like, I posted them when I posted them on TikTok, and nothing happened on Facebook. It just a bit
Mm.
of luck
Mm.
involved as well as making the right content.
Yeah, and
100%.
I've got this interesting theory, and I don't know if it's true. It's really just been kind of auditing, right? It will take an average streamer 1,000 live streamed hours to kind of find their groove, and it will take a VOD creator approximately 100 to 150 videos created, whether it be 10 minutes or shorts, to get their groove. And most people don't make it past the first 10 hours or like the first 50 hours live stream, and they don't make it past the first 50 videos created. Like that, they kind of expect it to happen overnight, and
Yeah.
but like very rare circumstances would I'd say someone has made it in the first 100 videos. If they have, they've had some previous experience in entertainment, in video production, in something that
Yeah.
that has brought their skill across to these platforms and be able to do something like that.
Yeah.
Um, like I don't know what are your thoughts? It's a very generalistic statement, but I
Mm.
just feel like then there aren't these metrics aren't talked about as often as I think they should be. Like people think it happens overnight. They don't put in the work up front, or even behind the scenes to get to that stage.
Yeah. I see that a lot. I see people some of the people I started streaming with just going live for an hour and a half, or calling it quits at 58 minutes and 1 minute, an hour, 27 minutes, just these random, no schedule. I don't have a schedule, but like, no, like, I mean, like, okay, I'm going to do 2 hours today and I'm going to stick to it. Like, and just, I guess you just can't be lazy. You just got to suck it up. It's like a normal job in a way. You've got to, like, you're not going to have fun every single day at work. Like, I just, I feel the same way. And I saw a video once. It was like one of the big shows. I think it was Cypher PK. He went over his YouTube values and things over a 5-year period. He's like, look, I did this for 3.5, 4 years, and I had 0 views. Like, and he was showing his graph. He's like, I had nothing, nothing, nothing. I was grinding for 4 years. And he was like, most of you will quit within this first 12 months. because you didn't see anything. But I was doing it for 4 years. I had nothing, and then I randomly got 20,000 views on a video, and then Fortnite came out, and then he just skyrocketed at his 5 year mark, and
Mhm.
that kind of sat with me a lot because I could see his 3 year mark was kind of similar to where my numbers were kind of slightly going up and things like that. This was last year, but yeah, I think a lot of people need to see a video like that explaining that it's just not gonna, like, even the big dogs. I've been doing it for 11 years now, 12 years, 13 years. Like, it takes time.
There's one particular creator that I kind of look at, and even if I don't like the content as much, but just the way they think about content creation, and that's Ludwig, and he's recently gone from Twitch to YouTube, and but his content creation process, which was in a podcast with Colin and Samir, who talk about the creator economy, and he thinks about a live stream of being split into 3 to 4 segments, and he pre-plans what the live stream will be about, so that after the live stream's completed, he's actually got 3 to 4 segments of videos ready to be cut, edited, and repurposed across YouTube Shorts and everything else.
Yeah.
Like, his live stream is purely there to have live interaction with his community, and then he takes those segments and breaks it down into those other pieces of content. And I think there's a lot of things that, you've done really well in terms of storytelling, like
Mm.
that aligns with that. And I think that's something that a lot of creators have difficulty with, is being able to tell a good story, whether it be entertaining, whether it be educational. And I think you've got this interesting, like, mix between the two, and a lot of creators do, is that you're both. You're entertaining and educational for Apex Legends in a short form comedic way that I would like to share with my friends. And that's the viral component that a
Yeah.
lot of people, I think, miss out on. And I think you've got this really small niche, like, that you've hit, and it's got a good groove, and sticking to those trends. I think a lot of creators can definitely learn as to how you, like, audited TikTok's trending content and use that for your gaming content.
Yeah.
I think that's a really key thing that you've been able to pick up, and 100% more creators should kind of look at the way that they create the way that you do.
I tried that for a little bit where like pre-stream, I would set up sort of things that I wanted to. This is when I was finding my ground, trying to find my niche. I would do the same thing. I would set up little moments to happen in stream, or questions to answer and things like that, and then I would record them. Um, but I kind of developed it into actually the gameplay moments happening, as opposed to. So I would kind of force. Maybe I'd start using a weapon for the stream, and then I would realize all the mistakes I make when I'm using that weapon, and then I would remember the notes from those mistakes I was making, and that might make a funny video to call out someone that's obviously going to be making the same mistakes with that gun as well. So it's a similar thing to that, except his is more talking points, whereas mine are gameplay points. But it's
Hmm.
definitely a similar formula.
So what's next for Lucky Chappy? What do you got on the table? What's planned for 2022 and moving forward?
Well, 2022, I made the New Year's resolution at the start of the year, or end of last year, that I was going to focus on my own content, and I've done that so far this year. I've lowered my co-streams and reach and network and stuff, and I'm also focusing on the things that I'm doing well and what I want to keep doing well. But I'm starting to expand the last few months my content. It's not just my shorts anymore. I'm posting a lot more of my longer VODs, maybe gameplay of a single match. I'm also posting shorts from a different side of the thing, just straight up from the stream. I was talking about it earlier, but just shorts that are funny moments or relatable moments that are happening in stream. So I'm just trying to expand my content a bit more, as opposed to just having this super strict niche of the what your certain thing says about you guy, which I'm kind of known as right now. I've even got that in my description, just so people know it's me, because I had a lot of people coming in going, "Wait, are you that guy?" And I would just do the starting intro, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, it's you!" But I'm trying to expand a little bit, and people are starting to realize that I can actually offer real tips, as well as my satire, sarcastic, funny videos. Even though they have said that they do provide real education to them of what not to do, I'm
Mhm.
starting to go down the route of actually providing a lot of tips, and they've been doing really well. That a lot of people are vibing with them, and they want to see more actual tips from me, and they're seeing my gameplay videos, and they're realizing that I'm not terrible at the game. They might have saw those videos and go, "Oh, who's this person? He's not qualified to say these things." But they're seeing my gameplay videos and realizing that I'm not too bad at the game, and that they could actually learn something from me. And
Yep.
yeah, I'm just trying to focus on making sure I'm hitting all the points. I do have a certain kind of process in the points that I like to hit. I am a qualified trade instructor. I did my trade instructing course last year when I first left the army. Oh, the year before, sorry. I finished that, and I learned a lot from that I'm actually implementing into my videos, which I probably should have brought up earlier. But the educational side of it, they taught me about the visual things, which is what the subtitles are. The visual learners are going to respond to that a lot more. And even if I'm not teaching anything, I've used a lot of all the stuff about the different ways people can learn and implemented them into my videos just to add those visual representations, the volume sound, like how loud certain things are, and making sure the balance is equal, and just all those different elements that you get from teaching, I've put into the videos. So they're helping me with my actual educational videos, but they're also helping me with making my satire videos educational in a non-traditional way, in a what not to do way. So that's what I'm working on now, just expanding my content, I've got my own niche. It's good. I'm loving doing that. I have a lot of fun making those videos. Everyone loves them, but I also don't want to be locked down to a one trick pony. So right now in this year is focusing on doing those other videos, which have been doing really well, and getting the live streams out there and trying to get on as many platforms as I can. I'm kind of focusing one platform at a time. It was TikTok first, or it was Facebook first with the live streams, but with the VOD side of things, it was TikTok. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to focus. I got a really good following here. I'm going to go to Facebook now. Now I'm focusing on that. And then eventually I want to start focusing on YouTube a little bit with some of my VODs. And then kind of just getting everywhere and then bringing them all into Facebook, which is obviously my platform of choice. My content all works together really well on Facebook, as opposed to something like Twitch, whereas they might see my video on Facebook or TikTok, but then they have to go to a completely different website just to see what I'm like in the stream. Whereas on Facebook, if I'm live and they're watching that video, there'll be like my little profile picture at the top, and it'll have a red circle around it while they're watching. They're like, oh, he's live. I'm just going to quickly check what he's like. And they just tap into it. And I've had thousands, tens of thousands of people come to the stream directly from those videos and go, hey, I just watched your video. And those videos help them stay in the stream a lot longer, because they already know what they're going to get. They have this idea of, oh, I really liked this video. I'm actually going to give him 3 minutes of my time to see if I like what he does, as opposed to 30 seconds. So it's something, that's one bit of advice I'd give to anyone is, if your videos are entertaining and people are enjoying them, it's going to help your live streams tenfold, because usually people are scrolling, they'll watch for 5-10 seconds. And if you're not doing anything interesting, and you physically cannot do something interesting for a 4-hour stream for the entire duration, there's always going to be those downtimes. So they've seen those videos, they'll give me more time because they've already seen something of mine that they liked. They want to see if my streams have a similar thing, or if they have anything they'll relate to. So the videos have helped my live streams drastically.
You bring up a good point, and maybe we talk to this very quickly. In terms of your platform of choice being Facebook gaming, and just how what you exactly just said is that your short form content on platform has, and the go, like when you're live, bringing that audience across, and the ability to do that. How important, like you spoke to it a little bit, but how important do you think that is to not just yourself but other creators, like being able to have like that whole creator ecosystem together, and not going from one platform to another? Like, how important do you think that is to everything?
For me myself, that is probably the biggest part of my whole system now. Is I need those videos to help the live streams, but I need the live streams to help the videos. It's kind of made this weird circle where everything is working together. And something like posting a video, and then I get a snippet of that video I just posted, I put it onto my story on Instagram and Facebook, and you can add a link straight to the video. So just with Facebook, everything links together. So that video is in my story. People can see my story if they don't see the video, and then they'll see the story and be like, oh, I'm going to watch this video. Once they watch that video, they might be watching it from the story. Then they'll see that I've got the live symbol. They'll come straight to the live stream. Everything just works really, really well together, as opposed to when I was on Twitch, I would post it on TikTok, and then people would click the link in the bio occasionally, and they would come over to Twitch, but I might not necessarily be live. They have no idea if I'm live until they go over to Twitch and see that I'm not. And then they kind of lose interest, close all the apps. I'll probably go do something else or watch someone else. Whereas on Facebook, it's all just so strongly integrated that it only takes a few seconds for someone to kind of check every single bit of your content. Whether they're watching the story, they can quickly watch the video. They go back, they see you have another story, and you're live. They click your live stream, they watch for 10 seconds, they either like it or not, and they move on. Whereas other websites, other platforms, it's a bit of a process. And I find myself doing that too. If someone's put a video I like on Facebook and they have a YouTube link or a Twitch link or something like that, I find myself, I click some of them, but not all of them. Whereas if it's someone that's put a Facebook video up and they're streaming, I'll always tap it. Like I just tap it to have a quick 5-second look. So I don't know. I think the turnover of people coming through is probably the best part of Facebook, and just how everything can link. People in your live stream, you go, yeah, I've made that video while like I'm chatting to them live. Do you want me to get you the link? And I'll just go copy and paste the link in the chat. 5-10 people will go watch it. Then they might get stuck in the watch train of going down my videos, or they'll come back to the stream. So like, yeah, it's really good. And Facebook's live stream has the chat screen actually has if you swipe right or left, it has a more like this. So people can watch your videos directly from your live stream chat screen and then come back to the stream just by swiping back. And I find that just all that integration, everything just kind of snowballs. You get the extra engagement you want. And yeah, I don't think anyone should limit themselves to one platform, but for starting out, I think Facebook's just not even just starting out, just for just the integration with everything and how they all work together. It's such a strong platform that you shouldn't be skipping out on at all. Post your other stuff to the other platforms, but this integration just all works together. And like I said, it just has a nice circle that one thing leads into the other and back around.
I agree.
Yeah,
That's that's something we've been working on recently with a lot of creators. You know, the whole sort of VOD piece. I think that is kind of one of the main things, because I know there's a few creators, like obviously including yourself, that had really started to go hard on the VODs. And whether it's a clip, whether it's a 3+ minute video, whether it's, you know, vertical or non-vertical, like whatever it is, like video and the way that it distributes, and then the way that it links back to your page and then links back to your live. Obviously, you know, hearing you talk about it is exactly why we've been trying to push people to do that. So, you know, we've even kind of been using you as a little bit of a case study in some of these, which is obviously why I wanted to have you on and get your thoughts kind of firsthand. Because even like for my own content, I've seen it work really well with my clips and my VODs to my live, to uploading those clips to TikTok. I'm getting people coming across now going, oh, I saw your drifting clip on TikTok. That's mad. Show us the car. Like, you know, what's your character about in roleplay? And then I can do that. And they're like, yo, this is sick. And I'll see them every day after that. And then they've subbed and whatever, you know. And you've got like a new sort of person that you can relate to, chat to. They're like, oh, I want to see you. You know, they know the GTA map, or they know Apex, and they'll be like, oh, I haven't seen a video about this, and you'll be like, that's sick. Then they'll be like, oh, should try and drift this spot, and I'm like, bro, that's sick. I never even knew this spot was here. You know.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
like they're seeing your content and they're going, yo, I know this game, I know this content. They like what you're doing. Throw a few ideas at you, then boom, there you go. You've got another 3 or 4 videos you can do. Like, I realize it's this big circle, and it always comes back to more content that you can make, and then the more content you can provide, then people are going to be watching it, and maybe another person will see something and come in. So I think like the VOD thing is key, and I think especially for, you know, one, bringing people across, but, you know, be able to push content back out. I think like the VOD stuff is super key at the moment.
And it adds that extra layer for the new viewers. They already have something to talk about, as opposed to something interesting needing happening in the stream. They've already got that discussion point, starts the convo, and just gets things rolling instantly.
I think that was going to be one part. I know, like, obviously, you know, for us, like as goto.game, it's always good for me to sort of sit here and say, this is why goto.game's great, and this is what we can do to help creators. But is there anything that you kind of, you know, without tooting our own horn too much, like, is there anything that you could see, like, if someone else was like, why would I want to talk to goto.game about my content creation, or why would I want to talk to goto.game about like a Facebook partnership program? Like, is there anything there that, like, from your own personal experience, that you would say like, hey, this is what they've done well, or this is why, exactly what you said. Like, you're stoked that you had the first meeting. Like,
Yeah.
what was it about that meeting that's kind of helped you to get to where you are now, if anything?
Yeah. So the first meeting, I was still streaming on Twitch. I was streaming
Mm.
on Facebook. I was streaming on Twitch. I was making videos on Facebook, and the videos were getting a good amount of traction at that point. They were starting to get semi-viral. And I remember I had a meeting with you and Judge, and I remember you guys saying, I was talking to you about how when I'm streaming on Facebook now, I'm getting like 70 viewers, and then I'll stream on Facebook for an hour, 2 hours, and then I think it was an hour and a half, sorry. And then I
Mhm.
would go to Twitch and I would go from 70 viewers down to 10, 11. And I was feeling a bit weird about that. And I was talking to you guys, and you guys were saying that obviously we've partnered you with Facebook, but and you should do your own thing. We're not telling you to do what or force you to do this or anything, but going off your stats and the videos, the way they're working, the way your stream analytics are looking, the way the average viewership has almost doubled, we would suggest maybe look at or think about doing more streams on Facebook or longer on Facebook. And I think I needed that. I think I needed that because I was in a weird spot where I was like, no, I want to stream on Twitch and just make videos on Facebook. But once it all started linking together, and I had that chat with you guys, it really I went talked to my partner and I was like, yeah. And I was like, better that they just wanted me to get on Facebook or not. And then I really thought about it, and I just realized that it was just good advice to follow where the growth is. Like, it's all about growth. I remember you telling me about when you're a small creator, medium creator, it's all about growth and growing, as opposed to where you might get the most money or where you might get the most I don't know, something else. But it was all about just growing as a creator, growing that community, growing a better relationship with your community and things like that. And I just didn't think of it at that way now. And that's something I still tell to everyone. Like, I've passed that advice on to people. Like, I'm still at this point where I've just got to focus on the growth. And if TikTok was doing well, that's why I was focusing on TikTok, because it was the growth is there. The videos are doing well there, so I'm going to post there for another few days. Facebook's doing well, I'm going to post there. And if I start doing YouTube content, I will focus on that a bit more, put a bit more time in, and just kind of follow where the growth is. So it's not just advice for Facebook, but it was also just advice in general as a creator, what you should prioritize over what you want, or more so what what you should be doing as opposed to what you want to do. And I think everyone should do what they want, but you've got to have that outlook if you want to take this seriously. And that you got to sit back and look at it objectively as well. And you might want to stream on Twitch, but it might not be a reality for you until 10 years down the track or something like that. So yeah, I don't know, your advice and Judge's advice just helped me to sit back and think about things a bit differently and be like, okay, yeah, why would I be giving up 75 interested people to stream to 10 of those same people that are just coming over to Twitch? Like, why would I give up the 60 viewers that are wanting to watch more content from me and they're there supporting me? Why would I not give them more, you know? Um,
Mm.
so yeah, that meeting was probably that was one of the turning points. Obviously, I was already making my videos that were going viral on TikTok and stuff, but getting to focus my streams more on Facebook again really has just helped with everything.
Hell yeah, that's good to hear, man. It really is, and I think that's obviously the thing that we're trying to do is really just kind of look at everything objectively, right? Because everybody wants to grow and everybody wants to create content that their community is going to enjoy, and there are some times where I feel like a creator, like even myself, I'm like, I don't want to just play GTA all the time. There's so many other games that I want to play. But I'm like, but for what I want to do and the content that I want to create and the content that I want to push and the growth that I'm seeing, GTA makes sense for what I'm doing right now. And I think, like, even looking at my own content, like, I want to do more stuff, but it
Yep.
won't work. Like, it won't work. It'll hinder my growth. It'll hinder everything that I'm doing and everything that I've worked for. So just don't do it. I feel
Yep.
like a lot of creators are like, yeah, but I want to do this. And
Yep.
it's like, I get that. And everybody gets that. And we're not saying that you can't do that. But if you want to maximize what you're doing and really get to a point where you want to get to, like, there are some things that, maybe you should not do. And that might be a controversial topic or something. I don't know. It's probably not. But, I feel like there are some things that you know, you kind of have to pull back on a little bit, and then a few things you have to push on. So
Yeah.
I think that's what it's all about. You know, it's just about kind of working out what that is and figuring out what that is and kind of how that works. And you know, I'm just stoked to see that everything that we've kind of spoken about, and everything you've been doing is just really like blowing up. It's so sick to see. So keep it going, bro. I'm very excited to see what you're doing the rest of the year and the new content you come out with.
Thanks. I got to come up with new ideas first, but I'm running out of
Make
ideas.
chat, just make chat do it. Make them come up with the
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah.